prepares to die. And when the sky begins to roar, it's like the devil at your door. And when your mind begins to crack, there's no way you can hold him back. And when the crack begins to bleed, the tattered king will plant his seed.
Where the bloody hell were we? We were on a ship.
Yeah, so we need to bring Lee up to speed. I'm not sure.
All right.
Well,
I'm sure he's been following the campaign from the very first episode.
Oh, of course. Not very far.
taking notes as
Thought
well.
you'd have done it by now.
I mean, I sort of need to catch up because went to bed, sort of. So George went to feeling seasick.
Having said that, I think I ended up going to bed about 11:15, and they were still partying the night away.
They're still, that was like me in real life. You know, people are partying. I'm like, yeah, bedtime.
To be fair, your character's just Marcus Dyer has literally just been introduced, and he doesn't. So I suppose technically he doesn't know anything anyway.
That's all right then.
I think
fits in well.
is there anything in his bio on his character sheet?
Just give me a second then.
Oh, I need to. I can have a look as well. So, backstory, no.
Personal details.
There's nothing.
None.
He's seen a lot of death.
Yeah. So yeah, apart from probably not being on a ship is probably not the best place for him to be. But anyway,
No.
So yeah, he is a archaeologist. He is, I believe, he's
Big game hunter.
I think we'll forget the big game hunter.
Charlie Chaplin impersonator.
His speciality, I believe, is what was it now? Well, I'll let you decide. Basically, you're on
the
ship.
tango, I believe.
You're on a ship heading to India, and you've met these three. So these three people are part of. Are they part of the passengers that make up your dining table? Because they're each.
You were assigned a dining table.
Yeah, you're assigned a dining table with like regular guests, so you get to know a certain group of people. That's how.
Right. So by ship, you mean like a big ship?
Yeah. So you're on a big steamship that was sailing. Well, it sailed from England originally, but I believe.
Oh, okay, it's not the White Star Line.
Yeah.
P&O steamship, brand new steamship. Only was finished being built this year or last year.
That's no guarantee of safety.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I think you boarded the ship at the same place these guys did. So you boarded the ship in Marseille. You're traveling to India, and you're on. I don't think so. Well, I'll let you decide. So you're traveling to India. Right. You're an archaeologist. What your area of interest is or expertise is up to you. But basically, you've met these guys. I think you're 5 days. This is the start of the 5th day into the voyage. You've just travelled, or you're currently travelling through the Suez Canal. So you've made the acquaintance of these guys, and they have told you, or you've learnt through and been pumped for information by the other passengers on your table that they're travelling to India. Well, what have you told everybody? You tell.
I think we've been fairly
open
to a certain point. We were going to India to see the sights, I believe.
We were looking for adventure, we're on a bit of a sabbatical.
And then somebody, I can't remember who, suggested going to Tibet, Nepal.
It was...
and we were like, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, because we were going to go to Tibet, but it's shut. So Nepal was the
second,
sort of the second choice.
Yeah.
but you have a way through. Apparently, you've because of
yes.
Daddy's connections. Daddy's a diplomat.
Right. Okay.
No,
I
oh,
thought
sorry,
that-
no, that's
no,
Oliver's character.
That's Julian.
That's all.
That's Julian
That's
Knight.
the other one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah.
That's the character we actually talked to.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Yeah, that's Oliver's character.
All right. So
Right.
yes, he mentioned that he has some connections through his father's work.
Yeah, I don't think we'd talk to this clown.
Not so much, no.
Sorry, respected table guest.
So, what nationality am I?
I believe you are English. If it's not
Right.
specified, you can decide yourself. To be honest. Who else is? So the other people at your table. Let's see. We've got Julian Knight, who we've already mentioned, is the son of a British diplomat. Bit of a womanizer, bit of a gambler, bit of a drinker.
Bit of an ass.
We have got Reverend Ian Gore, who is a missionary on his way to spread the good word, the word of the good book, to Indian heathens. We've got Stephen Thomas, who nobody really knows much about, is an accountant or something. He's quite young, but he's usually got his head buried in a copy of the Times doing a crossword. And then we've got Gerald's favourite character, which is Miss Henrietta Tullis, who, who is the wife of the British envoy.
Although I'm fairly sure, after last week, she had found a new target.
Right.
So she's a bit of a she's kind of a typical British upper-class British lady who's in India. She's quite a bit of a busybody, a bit of a mother hen.
She's a mad woman.
She's took a shine to Gerald.
We kind of encourage that because it'll be funny.
Someone's got to.
And then the last two guests, are passengers at your table, are two young ladies that are travelling together, which is Francesca Nicholson, who were kind of hanging around a little bit with Dr. Highsmith. She likes the older gentleman. And her travelling companion Patricia Berry, who was a bit of a wallflower.
Okay.
Who Julian Knight was kind of hitting on.
Oh, right. Okay.
Kind of.
Essentially, we're a wee bit of a respite period between encounters.
Yes.
So the ship's giving us a chance to actually just go.
Actually, do we get to do any rolls?
So at the end of the sea journey, you'll get to do some rolls for whatever skills you may have possibly. So with the shooting, we'll do a whole development phase at the end of the sea journey.
Cool.
So it's it's the morning of the 5th day. I don't think there's anything really major happened. So the ship has sailed across the Mediterranean. I think some or all of you took part in some some skeet shooting, and then some deck quoits. The ship called in at Port Said in Egypt, and then on the 4th day it started its journey through down through the Suez Canal. And probably one of the highlights of that day was Mrs. Tullis, who makes this journey quite regularly. She informed everybody that it's kind of a tradition on the ship on these journeys for there be like a variety cabaret kind of show on the last night, of the last full day on the ship, which passengers are encouraged to take part. So basically, each table comes up with an act to do on the final night, and it has been decided by Mrs. Tullis that you will be performing a piece from a Gilbert and Sullivan play.
All right.
If only we had a Charlie Chaplin impersonator.
God damn it.
So Francesca is sort of revealed that she was a kind of budding amateur opera singer, and so she's sort of like quite excited about the whole thing. She's like sort of thrown herself into the role. I don't know, have I been kicked out? No.
Probably.
No.
I keep the playlist keeps shifting up and down. But yeah, so Mrs. Tullis is kindly planning out who's going to be doing what.
I am the very model of a modern Major General.
And that was something else that was happening. That happened last night. So, Mr. Thomas, for the first time, actually started engaging people in a bit more conversation than just passing pleasantries, and he was exceedingly interested in what Gerald and Charles and George were heading to India for, why they were travelling to India, and what what the little expedition was about.
We've kind of been vague-ish because hey, nobody believes us, and if you do, you're probably working against us.
Yeah.
So, other thing I only just dawned on me when today is yesterday was also the 24th of December. So,
right, 1928 is that?
1929.
29.
So we start this morning on the morning of the 25th of December at around about 8 o'clock that morning. I'm getting bombarded by error messages for some reason.
It's all them hackers.
That's crazy. I might have to restart my reload my Foundry.
Oh.
We've broke a keeper already.
Going crazy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I shall be back 1 moment. Still here, of course. But yeah, so you wake the next morning to find invitations to the. It's still logging me in.
Thankfully, Wizard haven't been invented yet as well, so that's always a bonus.
Maybe we could invent them.
Well, if it's Christmas, then what I would like to know is, seems as Charles and George are employed by Gerald.
And have an extra lump of coal.
What have you bought us as our present for Christmas?
Well, seeing as it's the 1920s, I've got both of you an orange.
Oh.
A little tiny notebook.
Oh.
One of those short, stubby pencils. A piece of string that you can tie around the pencil so you don't lose it.
This is getting better.
And one of those like party blowers with a feather on the end.
Oh.
Extravagant.
Happy Christmas, lads.
Best boss
You're
ever.
welcome. Best boss ever.
That's it. Is that what it says when you blow it out?
Yeah.
Best boss ever. Excellent. Cheers, you cheapskate.
So whereabouts are we then? On the ship. Whereabouts on the ship are we? What are we doing on Christmas morning?
So you
disappointedly opening his presents.
Yeah.
So you wake the next on the morning of Christmas Eve to find invitations pushed under your doors of your cabins, inviting you to the festivities for the day, and you are opening the door, opening your curtains on the portals of your cabins. You're surprised to see that the crew must have been hard at work all through the night, and the ship is festooned with lights and Christmas trimmings from bow to stern.
On the outside of the ship?
Okay.
Yep. On the inside as well.
Is it a white Christmas? Even though we're probably in
We're in
Indian Ocean.
Egypt. So
Yeah, we're in
Yeah.
Indian Ocean, so it's
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
So it's
Hey,
now,
stranger things have happened.
Well, white if you stay at the sun for a long, long time, I guess.
Yeah, I'm now blind.
Yeah. Okay, so are we each in his own cabins or?
Yeah, so you've got your own cabin. I believe these three have got connecting cabins because they so they're kind of ensuite cabins, and you can have like a if you have a
Connecting
joining cabin, you
doorway.
can have like a connecting doorway to make them like a full suite.
Very
So
nice.
you've got your own cabin. They've got 3 adjoining cabins. Yeah, so all
We've been through
cabins
stuff
have
together.
like
We've fallen up
exterior,
at our
have exterior portals, exterior views, and yeah, it's first class cabin.
Yeah, yeah.
Top drawer.
There's no third class on the ship at all.
no Jack here.
No.
What was the other one called? The Rose. I was it. No. Though we did reenact that scene briefly.
See, I have never seen that film all the way through.
I've never seen
Neither
it.
have I. I've only seen clips.
I've only seen the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
I know what happened, so I mean, it's a sort of
Yeah.
spoiler, isn't it?
I'm going to take a morning stroll around the deck.
Okay.
There's nobody with me, so I ain't got any presents to open, sadly. But
No,
It's a somber walk.
it is. It's a somber walk, thinking about where. Although, not that somber, because 1929 in England, Christmas were probably pretty cold.
Yeah.
So I'm going to enjoy it on the deck here.
Yeah, last year was particularly cold. It was like a freak sort of temperatures. Particularly cold. The Thames was frozen. The whole country was almost like brought to a standstill.
Scotland was particularly.
Yeah.
You keep bringing Scotland up like there was some mental scar with.
Yeah. And flying horses, and yeah.
Sounds good. So.
Where's my present anyway? Lads?
What do you mean, your present?
Get him a mug, but it's one with nicked out of the galley, so it's like got brown paper and swag.
Here's some silver cutlery for you.
Unfortunately, we're not paid enough to be extravagant.
You've
Yeah.
got tons of money, shut up.
Yeah.
It's the principle. That's the principle, dear boy. The principle of
Or,
matter.
or did you get sued for all of it?
Well, you've seen how bad a doctor is, so...
Excuse me, I'm very intuitive. Thank you very much. How dare you? I am a professional.
Professionally bad.
I also know Julian's up to no good. I was able to determine that.
Ah.
I was hoping to fail that roll so I could be like, but damn it, I got one of my highest rolls ever.
So what are the three of you doing?
I'll wish everyone a fine Christmas morn and go for breakfast, I guess.
Oh, I thought it was the 24th.
No, it was 24th.
No, it's
yes.
25th.
Oh, the 20th.
Yeah.
I thought it was only Christmas Eve. But yeah.
No, that's what I meant. I realised when I was setting things up today that it was actually Christmas Eve, the day before.
Yeah.
Damn it, I would have had a Santa hat.
As-
You're bound to. We've been through Egypt, so you're bound to have a fez. That's right. Similar.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we in the Are we going? Have we been through the Suez?
So he's still the ship is still travelling
Not
through
in this
the
game.
Suez Canal. It's on the southern end of the Suez Canal.
Oh.
So it'll probably take another day before it's clear of the canal.
Yeah, I guess breakfasts if there's any crackers.
Yeah.
I would imagine there's some sort of formal either lunch or
And there
meal
must be
plan.
like a decent Christmas breakfast.
Yes. So you got there is a change from the usual breakfast fare that's on offer. So instead of the usual fruit and fish and curry that's usually on offer for breakfast, there is a more festive menu available. There's also a lot in the dining area. There's a huge Christmas tree with presents underneath, and you're informed that there is a present for every single passenger that will be presented. That each person will be presented with at this evening's meal.
That was what the extra £2 charge.
I was wondering what the yeah.
I hope I bought myself something nice.
Yeah, so I've paid for my own present. Merry Christmas. Well, I didn't even pay for a ticket, so double Merry Christmas from Gerald.
So Marcus, after taking your stroll constitutional around the promenade deck,
Yes.
you join your fellow passengers at table number 8 in the dining area for breakfast.
Absolutely, a spot of breakfast.
So Mrs. Tullis is busy planning your performance for the Gilbert and Sullivan. She informed she doesn't want to tell you any details, but she informs you she's got things. She's got an act worked out for you boys.
I believe, Gerald, you said you were a fan of the Paris of Penzance, wasn't that right?
Yes. I can.
Sorry, we're going to be doing William and Arthur.
Oh, one of the more popular ones then.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Do you
famous
not-
Gilbert and Sullivan musical, William and Arthur.
Do you not find that a bit populist?
That's it. I hope that your
Actually-
role doesn't extend to me. My role was more prominent in a music hall as a spectator rather than a participant.
Oh yes,
Could
Mr.
we-
Dye, you'll be part of the choir, the men's choir.
Oh.
See, could we not do Three Little Maids from School Are We? From the Mikado.
It's already been planned. Myself and Francesca are getting all the playlist all written out. So it's already planned, but we'll leave the surprise until tomorrow.
That's fine.
Oh,
That's fine. Provided there's some stronger voices than me, I can.
yeah, because obviously there's a difference between surprising and not letting anybody rehearse.
Yeah.
We'll have to put on a good effort.
We have several days to rehearse Dr. Highsmith. So.
That's the next 3 sessions, by the way, folks watching.
It's just
Yeah. Warming up. La 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 la.
And how are we all on this fine Christmas morning?
Jolly good. I was up. I think I'm getting my game up with the skeet shooting. I've been practicing every day and getting better.
You're
That's
never
the
gonna.
trick. Practice makes perfect.
Well, you're not going to win your money back.
Oh, well, just purely for himself, old boy. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, did you know that Christmas actually began in Rome, just like the Feast of Saturnalia?
I did not know. Oh, interesting. Not only is it Christmas morn, it is an educational morn.
It is indeed. I like to inform as well as entertain on occasion, but just
One
thought
of
you might want to
Constantine's
know that.
creations, wasn't it?
Yes, that I studied it slightly in my in my profession.
It was the last Caesar, Constantine, that named himself Pope, wasn't that right?
Yeah.
He's making it up as he goes along.
He's certainly not.
I didn't mean to kill the comment. Carry on, carry on. Oh dear.
I can't give you
I've broken a new player already.
Oh, nice one, Charles. Again.
Shower us with your Christmas facts.
Yeah. You see, this is what we have to travel with. This is what we've had. Charles, the conversation killer. You wouldn't think you were a
Yes.
professional talker.
Listener, my profession is more listening to you, boy.
Yeah.
Well, I could certainly give you some more facts, I'm sure. Just give me a second.
Google has not been invented yet.
No. I just have to remember it. That's all. It's been a while since I've studied it. That's all.
That's totally understandable. If you're, things we've studied in the past may not be relevant today.
Indeed.
Are we going to be visited by spirits of?
That's an interesting idea.
I bet nobody's even thought of that.
Never
Well,
crossed my mind.
if they do, we're recruiting them because they might be able to help us.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come would be particularly helpful.
So, Patricia is quite subdued during breakfast, and she kind of just toys with her food most of the time and excuses herself, which quite quietly, to the point that most people don't even notice that she gets up, that she's got up and left.
Right. We'll notice after she's gone.
Yes.
Is Julian hanging around?
Just so Julian, yeah, he kind of he sticks around. He's looking, to be honest, he's looking a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah,
I'm
were
not
there any looks
surprised.
between them?
Sorry?
Were there any looks between them before she departed?
No, quite the opposite.
Hope he's listened.
I feel that's unlikely.
Yeah, I got that sense myself for some reason.
So, chaps, you were talking the other day about possibilities of going to Tibet. That's a very remote and obscure place to want to visit.
Have you ever been there yourself, or anywhere out in that area? As a,
I've been many places, but Tibet isn't one of them, I'm afraid. It's rather isolated, I believe. I don't know too much about it.
That's part of the appeal. Everywhere else in the globe's basically been done. It's sort of the last area of mystery. There's a particular city, Samakar, we'd heard of, that actually man of your profession might be intrigued by.
Do I know about it, Bill?
Sorry, I was completely ignoring you. What were you saying? Sorry.
So I was just asking if I know about the Tibetan cities.
So you maybe,
From an archaeological point of view.
Yeah. So from an archaeological point of view, you maybe know a little bit. Let me see. So,
Yeah, strange, because I've been in the reference library every day since we got here. Most of their materials on India. They don't have very much any further north than Bombay. It's a bit of a shame.
I must confess, my speciality is in Greco-Roman dealings, so it's a bit out of my league with Tibet, but I do remember some things, I think.
Pray tell, what's this journey for? Is this to expand your horizons or other reasons?
Well, part of my reasons for my trip to India is that I'm actually studying similarities in comparative religions, and especially pagan, pre-Christianity Roman culture, because I'm fascinated. I believe and I'll start saying how there's like possibilities, there's similarities between like the old gods, Saturn and all that kind of stuff, and the Hindu gods of Krishna and all that kind of stuff. I'll say, and I believe there is a crossover, possibly indicating that there might be something unifying, a missing link, if you will.
Interesting theory.
Oh.
Maybe
It's really quite fascinating. It takes a long time, as you know.
I mean, would you have any interest in taking a trip out to Nepal or Tibet, and especially with it being so remote, where they may have sort of a bigger interest and a bigger following in these type of religions, and really, have a real passionate belief about it.
I believe some of the Indian Buddhists, they got their sort of inspiration from Tibet.
Well, yes, I mean, yes, I'm fairly certain that the Tibetan people follow Buddha and that kind of religion, and certainly it bled over into China and India. So it's kind of like the roots of that religion. So naturally, yes, of course, if you're heading that way and you have some vested interest, maybe we can collaborate in some way.
I mean, I know it's sort of out of your remit, but I suppose having someone with some educational skills could be quite useful.
Yeah, I'll make no lie of it. I'm quite enthusiastic about the fact that you're interested in this. Most people I talk to find it a frightful bore.
I mean, we look like an eclectic bunch, but we have varied interests. I don't know if you know, but Gerald owns a bookshop, and we've spent many an hour sat in there reading some of his lesser-known works that he's collected over the years.
Really? What, literature?
Oh, you name it. If it's a rare book, Gerald's probably burnt it or spilt coffee on it.
So I have bombarded Marcus Dyer's chat message thing with some snippets of information that you can extrapolate as you wish.
Okay.
Sorry, go on. I apologise.
That's good. It seems to be there's an upsurgence in interest in older gods, shall we say. Some people quite enthusiastic about it, maybe overly so.
How do you mean? Like I said, most people I talk to find it frightfully boring, and they tend to make excuses to leave when I start talking about it. But do you know other people that are interested?
I suppose you could say. I mean, they do have some interests that are probably aligned with ours. That we're sort of. I mean, that's one of the whole reasons. Some aligned interests from an outside party, you could say. That's provided some interesting options.
Right.
I don't want to say too much. I don't want to put you off. I don't want to put you off with.
On the contrary, how about I go and get my? I've got a couple of references.
George, feel free not to say too much.
Oh,
I'll just give him some evils.
Absolutely.
I'll be like quite excited, and I'll say, on the contrary, what I'll do, I'm going to nip back to my cabin and grab my journals, because there might be something in there. I've never even considered the idea of going to Nepal.
I mean,
but this could be a whole new avenue.
I mean, it's not nailed on. We might be able to find a British trade agent who's potentially stationed out in Tibet that that might help us navigate the borders. Or something along those lines.
I thought
of course,
Julian was going to sort all of the border shenanigans out for us.
Well,
there's.
I like options, shall we say?
Julian kind of looks, peers at you over, like, kind of, he's got his face kind of down, like, peers up you through his eyebrows, and.
And these volatile times.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I think I'm.
Let's not put
going to
all
retire
our...
to my cabin for a short while.
we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket, shall we say?
Especially in these volatile times.
Absolutely. You know,
Uh,
and to be honest, Marcus, you may be able to help us with some equine matters as well.
I am more than versed in it. My profession is archaeology, and I've dealt with the natives many a time. You know, logistics can be a nightmare. You don't have to tell me any of this. I remember a time when I was in, Tuscany, and there was a backup on mules. I had to pay 5 times the going rate just to get enough to get home.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes. Anyway, you might learn about our equine issues at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
But
unexpectedly.
Please grab those journals. That would be
like I said, I don't want to be rude and feel like I'm being very coy. And as Gerald said, I don't want to tell you too much because it's something that you've probably got to experience rather than be told.
And not your place really either.
And that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, Mr. Thomas gets up, doesn't really say anything, kind of nods, tucks the Times under his arm, and he also departs, leaving you with Francesca, Mrs. Tullis, and the Reverend. So Mrs. Tullis leans in here.
Well, I must go.
Oh, Gerald, this concerns you as well. In fact, it concerns everyone. It's a shame the others have left. Since you were talking about your journey, our arrival at Bombay and your travel on from there, I have taken it upon myself to telegram forward and secure everybody rooms at the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel. I trust that's agreeable with everyone. It is a rather respectable establishment with a definite European taste. So hopefully it'll make you feel more at home and make the transition to the streets of Bombay less of a culture shock, less jarring. As I say, I don't really think that you understand what you've got yourselves in for. I trust that's okay.
That's perfectly splendid.
That's very thoughtful of you, Frank.
That's quite all right. That's it's what I do. It's what I do. I really much things. So I'd be more than happy for.
Were there enough rooms?
Oh yes. I made
you didn't
sure
have to
of
just
that.
book the honeymoon suite.
I have contacts. My husband's name carries weight, of course. I'd be more than happy for us to settle up bills on arrival, of course.
Oh, of course. Will your husband be joining us?
Oh no, my husband will be busy with governmental business.
Oh, that must be distressing for you.
Of course I won't be staying at the hotel myself. I should be out.
What a shame.
At the house on the plantation. So.
Oh, you'll be missed.
Well, I'm more than happy to avail you of my company, and perhaps we can arrange.
Oh, please don't trouble yourself.
Oh, Jared, stop being so facetious.
Well, anyway, gentlemen, myself and Francesca have things to plan, as you know.
And I will just grab my journals, and I'll be right back, gentlemen.
We shall meet in the library, perhaps.
Do I know where the library is?
Yeah.
Yes. Shall we say 15 minutes?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Meanwhile, the Reverend stays at the table and he orders, through a mouthful of food, he wishes you all a good morning as he orders a second breakfast.
Filthy horses. It would be advantageous, I think, to have somebody that maybe can interpret some older texts.
I would agree.
Shall we maybe peruse his stuff to see what direction he's going in before we maybe think about revealing anything of ours?
Yeah, I'm nervous about discussing our business in public.
If I'm honest, I think we should try. I think if he's going to come along with us, we get him to come along under a sort of false pretense, maybe.
And be very careful what you say in front of some of the other guests as well. That accountant bothers me. I'm vexed. Yes, I'm not sure what his game is, but he listens a lot and doesn't say very much, doesn't our accountant friend?
That tends to be accountants.
But yes, be careful what you say around him.
If only something gets invented soon that makes him redundant. Guess we'll go to the library then. Just
Okay.
wait for our companion.
Okay, right. You
Yeah.
make your way to the library, and just in as you sit down, just as Marcus reappears.
Hello again. I've got my journals here. I've got some interesting things in them. Let me just.
More interesting than what we were discussing over breakfast.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Potentially.
I didn't think that was possible.
Well, let's see. Okay, there are some interesting temples in northern Nepal. Mustang is an isolated Himalayan kingdom in North Nepal. It's unknown even to most Nepalese and does not merit a mention in Encyclopedia Britannica.
So how do you know so much about it?
Well, as I said, my it's just a passing thing, but my expertise is in Greco-Roman history and unification of gods and the one true god myth.
Are these of the same style of Greco-Roman architecture, or something of their own? Do you have any drawings, perhaps?
Surely it's a bit simplistic to just view what I would have thought is just an anthropomorphization.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Come on, Carol, spit it out.
Of nature as gods, which is a universal across the globe, rather than trying to claim that all gods are one.
Oh, you must understand, I'm not coming at it from a religious point of view. I'm coming at it from a point of view of migration of the peoples.
But surely all areas of the world have their nature gods, god of spring, god of winter, god of trees, god of water. It's just simple nature worship writ large.
It is, but the similarities are too hard to deny.
Similarities
of trappings
of water is the same across the world.
It is. It is. But then again, the sea god Poseidon is remarkably similar in description, in descriptive form, as it is to, Neptune.
Yeah, but that's two countries that are adjacent to each other, and the Romans were well known to borrow gods from anywhere close to them or that they conquered. It's not the same as, Neptune being substantially similar to a sea god from, I don't know, Japan.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Beyond being vaguely watery in scope.
Absolutely. But if you read British gods, religion and myth in the Western kingdoms of Anglo-Saxon Britain, there is some similarity there as well.
I just happen to have a copy.
I just happen to have a copy right here.
Really? You've read it as well?
Well, spilled coffee on it.
No. Okay. There's far too much to read out. I have to pass this.
Strange women lying in ponds. It's hardly the basis for a system of government.
Yes. How do you explain the mention of the name of the obscure god Shub-Niggurath? Okay. Now, she's generally thought to be a local aspect of the Celtic goddess, Brigid, whose one aspect subsisted on nothing but the milk of otherworldly flocks of cows and sheep, and was known as Mother of the Flocks.
To be fair, though, saying Shub-Niggurath and Bridget are similar names is a bit of a stretch, don't you think, old man?
Not the names. Of course, it's the people. It's the trappings of them. You know.
And that's just a fertility god. Milk emitters. It's all part of
Perhaps
nature.
you're right.
People look at nature, make gods out of it. It's nothing to see here, surely.
And that's what I'm here to get to the bottom of. Maybe you're right, but maybe there's something more to it.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe, and foolishness, even if horses can fly.
So,
Gerald,
if you've seen things I wouldn't believe, then why are you dismissing it?
Because there are things that man should not know the what of.
All I know is that Shub-Niggurath may have been a deity.
Can you stop saying that
important
word?
by
Looks around the dining room table or the library for any mirrors.
Is anyone else? So when he says these things, Phil, is there anyone else within earshot? Is
Yeah, probably. There's probably only maybe a couple of people in the library. It's not one of the most. It's not one of the busiest areas of the ship.
That's
Yes.
all
Yes, like Shub-Niggurath was meant to have come from Gaul. It was believed for a time to be an import from the Gaulish tribes. However, looking into that, it's believed that it wasn't the Gaulish god either, and seemed to have actually had its origins in the Assyrian culture.
But again, that's all just part of the Roman Empire, and the Romans were known for transporting people and gods from one side of their empire to the other.
You
It's
say that,
hardly a
I believe it
surprise.
predates the Roman Empire. That's the fascinating thing. I think it was happening in isolation. That's my theory.
But as we know as well, travel has been readily available for millennia. Even before our modern times, tribes did travel. Evidence is found all the time. It seems to be the more enthusiastic, scholars of the gods were the ones that travelled the most.
Yeah.
And we're still seeing it today. Not always to the betterment of humanity.
Yes.
Oh, you're on one of your thoughtful moods again, aren't you, Doctor?
I'm afraid so. When you have time to think, what else could one do? But it's almost, an explanation of the human condition than anything else.
Is it?
As opposed to an external deity, we have a lot of the same hopes and dreams and influences.
This is
It
it.
only makes sense is that they're expressed in a very similar manner.
Is it that time already?
Now that's the reaction to this conversation that I'm used to.
Jared claims to be a learning man, but sometimes I do wonder. Yeah, because you say cattle, other people might say trees, for example, But the name, because of, like I say, enthusiastic individuals might have transferred, but expressed in completely different ways.
Yes, like I said, my theory is that they did arrive in isolation, and I want to know why. What is the link? I actually agree with you. I think it is migration of a theory and things like that, but there's something missing in the...
Are you suggesting coconuts migrate?
When placed in a cart and on a boat, yes.
Yeah. I believe there's a missing link, something outside of our current knowledge that explains why these isolated societies held similar gods or trappings of gods. That's what I'm there to look at.
There are
So you have piqued my curiosity about Tibet and Nepal. I never even considered it. It was just a passing phase of my research. But now you've said it, this could change everything. Yeah.
Do you not think that there's some things that mere mortals are not meant to know and understand and delve into too deeply?
Oh no. I mean, that's why I'm an archaeologist. The answers to all the great questions can be found in the earth, where the very nature of humanity is to question where we came from, isn't it?
Indeed. Well, I feel you should go at the forefront of any expeditions that we may have.
So, right. I'm going to say a bold statement and tell me if it's true or not, but you're sounding remarkable like you are actually archaeologists or doing some kind of archaeological...
Oh, I am merely a humble bookseller. However...
I'm just a humble bookseller, sir.
However, my bookshop did have a speciality in, as many rare books do, in history, the occult, the esoteric. So I'm knowledgeable in a wide range of things without necessarily being a specialist myself.
I understand. Okay, yes, so our disciplines do kind of cross paths.
Although I do have experience of the equine.
Hush, Gerald, for God's sake.
But we'll speak no more of that.
Well, I've had bad experiences with nags before,
So, in your journals, can you give us an example of evidence that, I don't know, Shub-Niggurath exists? Have you any text, writing, symbols? What's the basis? A theories only go so far without actual evidence to turn it into a law.
You're asking if I have any evidence of...
Yes.
Oh,
evidence.
as you know, a law is an observable fact. So, have you
Well,
correlations of symbols and archaic
No.
writings or building structures or
Just
societal?
Just to interrupt a moment,
grouping?
I've there's some more info dropped in Discord that might be of use to you or may not.
Okay.
May continue.
Is that a DM?
No, it's just for Lee.
That's what I think. It's a DM. But...
oh, okay.
Okay.
Did that come over the tannoy? Like, Discord? What is this Discord?
Heidi,
It's
hi!
gone. It's gone,
More info in
bacon.
your DMs!
I've not even... Has the discotheque been invented yet, gentlemen?
Well, so you're asking if I have any kind of evidence of
Evidence, yeah.
Shub-Niggurath.
Have you seen examples of a pattern forming that you could share with us?
I've seen symbols depicting similar things, yes, but I've not got any on me. However,
That's convenient because it's
Yeah.
wonderful. I'll pick up one of the journals. These things are always wonderful, and people can write these full to the day with theories and wish lists. But at the end of the day, it's observable facts, patterns that solidify
Empirical
this into something more
evidence.
tangible.
Yes.
oh yes, I've seen symbols and the like, but obviously, I'm funded by universities, etc. And the thing about them is they want what I find in museums, etc. So I don't keep the stuff that I have, but I've got my own research notes, which is what I'm
Sketchings.
looking at here.
etchings?
Back in England, yeah. Back in England, of course.
So, like,
I haven't travelled with them. But you know, somebody who might have more is the guy who wrote the book, Malcolm Quarry. I happen to know him. He was
Oh, do you?
employed by the Royal Society.
who
Yes,
might
I've
that
met him
chap be?
before.
All right.
He's a very good subject, expert on this subject, because he's coming, you see, from the more Celtic origins, and that particular god Shub-Niggurath wasn't really in my research thing. It's only, it was like an outline reference.
So did Quarry put you on to Shub-Niggurath? Then,
Well, as I said, I found it in his book, so it only relates to what I've been looking at. But it correlates because obviously the Romans invaded Britain, and my research is more towards the Romans and the Greeks and their gods and how that disseminated. But that's part of the fascination, you see, because when the Romans got to England and they invaded towns like Gloucester and Bath and Cirencester, they actually adopted some of the worship of these cults, if you like, of this mother of the flocks, of this Bridget. They started taking up this practice, and it,
You do seem
and that kind of
incredibly
transferred.
knowledgeable for somebody without evidence.
yeah.
Well, it's like I said, it's not. That's just part of what I've read. It's active research. You understand?
Is it?
Yeah.
So, did you take notes from this? What was his name again? Quarry?
Quarry?
Yes, old Malcolm.
So do you know him then? So you know Malcolm?
I don't know him as dear friends, but
Have you met him?
I rubbed shoulders with him.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. And what's he like? I mean,
I don't know. What is he like? I don't know.
I don't know.
I met him at parties and things like that. So, nothing. I couldn't give you a psychological breakdown of him.
I mean, I'm not that much into it. I'm an ex-Met police officer, so I just like to know what people are like. Just what's your take on the guy?
He seemed good enough. He's very driven. He seemed almost obsessed, if I had to say.
Alright.
But you meet plenty of those people, don't you?
Yeah.
Especially in academic circles. Some people might say that I'm quite driven myself. I had a partner, Hetty, and she didn't really particularly care for my research. But I always found him, I found him quite kind, very, very quiet in a way, but intense.
Interesting.
So, where is Mr. Quarry studying or teaching?
He was employed at the Royal Society in England. And he wrote the book he wrote. If you have a look, it was sometime in the mid-20s.
What was the book again? Sorry.
British Gods, Religion and Myth in the Western Kingdoms of Anglo-Saxon Britain.
Can't say I'm familiar with that one.
No, I don't think. I don't know. Did you ever have that in your shop, Gerald?
Never heard that.
No, I don't think we've come across. I don't think we've come across that book. Sounds interesting, though.
It was
I'd
very
be-
interesting, but
Yeah, I'd be interested in meeting Mr. Quarry if you know him so well.
well, it's always possible, but we're far away from England now, aren't we? The last time I
This is
saw him
true.
was about 4 years ago. As I said, my research is more towards the Roman and the Greek, and his is more towards the Celt and the European it just so happens that it crossed paths for a little time. But I did become fascinated, but I realised partway through that I was kind of going down a rabbit hole, if you will. So I redirected my efforts, but I kept the notes, which is what I've shown you here. You can read them if you want. I have a few more notes about Tibet and Nepal.
And the notes about Tibet and Nepal, you say, tie into this theory of.
Well, I just remembered them because you asked if I had ever been to Nepal. And again, through academic research, I took some notes on it, on like a couple of like interesting things that sparked my interest as I was researching. Particularly about the temple at Mustang.
Right, so start. This sort of indicate this part and try to find that section in your notes about Mustang.
Yeah. Phil, how do I share all this? I was basically going to share the writing.
Okay, you could. Where could you share that? You could.
I can read it out if you want for the stream.
Yeah. Go on, you can paraphrase it. Why not? It's,
okay.
It will be, otherwise, people.
A 200-page document in the.
Yeah.
It is quite long, but I'll try.
For the next 7 sessions.
My theory. The theory that is mine.
Right. Okay. Mustang is an isolated Himalayan kingdom in northern Nepal. It is unknown to even most Nepalese and does not merit a mention in the Encyclopedia Britannica.
But somebody who's only dabbled briefly in Nepal knows quite a lot about it. Do you not find that odd?
No.
Okay.
It's just research. Mustang, in the 11th edition of Encyclopedia Britannica, mentions a New World horse. The name appears to be derived from an improper Nepalese mispronunciation of its capital, Manthang. So that's why it became Mustang. And its own inhabitants call it simply Lo, L-O. It's got a big gorge of the Kali Gandaki River that splits it north to south. Was formed where a section of the Earth's crust slipped as plates slipped apart. It's the deepest gorge in the world, and it affords a direct passage through 24,000 feet peaks of the Himalayas, between the Tibetan plateau of China to the north and the Indian subcontinent to the south. A tremendous river must have once passed through here, for there's deposits of sediment to a depth of several hundred feet. It's the region is rich with stuff. The carved symbols of Vishnu on altars nearby. First mention of Mustang comes in the Tunhuang Annals of the Year of the Rat, 652, when the area came under the influence of the Yuan dynasty. Right, nothing else interesting. 12th century brought Menshang nomadic tribe who settled and then populated Tibet. Can't see anything of particular note.
Maybe the last paragraph.
The last paragraph.
Yeah, but by the 16th century.
Yeah, by the 16th century, the place of Mustang in the region seemed to have slipped just as dramatically and inexplicably as it had risen, for tributes were being paid to a neighbouring kingdom. famine further weakened Mustang and it split. Upper Mustang falling under the influence of Ladka and Lower Mustang under Jumla. The two territories feuded for decades, with the Jumla finally emerging as a partial victor by the end of the century. But with the squabble continuing through the early 18th century, the region was at its lowest point. Only when its king was recognized by the rulers of Kathmandu did it retrieve some power. I hope that means more to you than it does to me.
What do you mean? This was part of your research. You understood every word.
Yeah, I did. But like that, at that point, I kind of had an hint I was going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
So I went and did something else.
Yes.
Quite. Still feel he's suspiciously knowledgeable about Tibet for somebody who's previously, until we started this conversation, had very little interest in Tibet.
And wasn't actually gonna Tibet.
I wasn't, and I didn't. This
But all of a sudden, oh yes, I don't know anything about Tibet. Where is that again? Oh,
let me just get my journal, which I have extensive notes on the place about.
But nothing that we actually asked, funnily enough, which would be the basis of research.
Yeah.
This is. Sometimes I take crazy notes in my journals. What can I say?
Chinny reckon. I think that's what you can say.
This is purely academic research. I got half of it from the Encyclopedia Britannica.
I thought the
Encyclopedia Britannica. Obviously, you know.
I'm sure you said earlier the Encyclopedia Britannica contained little to no information about
it does,
the
and
Kingdom
then
of
I
Mustang.
said it does, and then I said in the 11th edition.
Is that the one with the crayon notes in the margin?
If you don't wish my help, that's absolutely fine. But
I'm merely suspicious of looking a gift.
I presume,
for want of a better word, horse.
Yeah.
I presume that role was possibly be a psychology role, not a psychoanalysis role.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yes. So, and the reason for your role?
I wonder if our friend is, hiding something.
No reason.
But no, he seems genuine enough.
Wait,
no problem there.
Straight as an arrow.
Yes. I will let you take the initial role since that's what you meant to.
It seems plausible to me that he just. Am I detecting any suspicious?
No. I will let you use the original result for the role, which I presume is. Yeah, I presume that was what you meant.
Because it was, I mean, that and the second one, they were so close. Like, that's appreciated. Not much in them.
Can I have an archaeology roll to see if he's balking to swallows?
Why not? But yeah, it's Charles. Yeah, as far as you're concerned, Charles, he seems incredibly genuine.
Very genuine, lovely man.
Yes.
I knew it from the get-go. Absolutely.
Whatever he's talking about is way above your level of understanding.
Very, very knowledgeable.
Yes, yeah. It's kind of my job, to interview and understand what's going on behind people. So it's
Yeah. And if only we also had somebody whose job it was to find things out about people, and
you could almost be an investigating team then, eh?
Yeah.
So as I say, gentlemen, it was kind of like a mini tangent that I went down as part of my research, and that's pretty much most of the notes I have.
Fascinating.
So probably by this time you talk for some time.
Is it time for Christmas dinner?
It's time for Christmas dinner, indeed it is, sir.
GM's like, I want to do something. He's taking over the game. I want to do something now.
So Christmas dinner. So for Christmas dinner, everybody's kind of wearing dress suits. So that is required. Formal dress is required.
Yeah.
So, presumably you return to your rooms to change into formal attire.
I'm always in formal attire.
Every day's a formal day.
Well, formal attire that doesn't look like you slept in it.
That might be more of a problem.
Yeah, well, it might be.
All my clothes look like I've slept in them, even
Do they
those I
have, do they
haven't.
have an do they have an iron on board?
There's probably one. In fact, there'll be a service. You can have your clothes ironed and washed.
Yeah.
Of course, you can.
We're in first class, but we do
Yes.
menial tasks to get
No,
ourselves.
you don't.
Get
You
script,
just,
man.
you just have one of the staff do it. So,
Is
on
is
return-
normal living new to you, young man?
Yes, yes.
So, returning to your
Prosperous
rooms,
ideas.
to your cabins, you find the door is unlocked.
All of us.
Well, you've one of the doors. It doesn't really matter. You've got an adjoining cabin, so your suite is an adjoining suite. So, one door being unlocked gives access to all three cabins.
Okay.
That's suspicious.
I
think-
Door is
I'll
I'll tell you whose door it is. It is. It is Gerald's door that is open.
I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell
Unlocked.
you what then. While Gerald's door's unlocked, I just I look at the other two. Well, other two, and I say, just wait there a minute.
Somewhat careless of the housekeeping, don't you think?
Yeah, just wait there a minute, guys, and I'll go in on my own to have a look round.
Okay. The room has been looks like it's been turned upside down. Something's clearly been going through your belongings. Not
I've-
Gerald's, everybody's.
Shout Gerald in, and Charles. Gerald, I think the house cleaner, the housekeepers have done a tremendous job tidying the place up.
They have. It's a marked improvement.
Yeah.
Wow, they've even found my spare pair of socks.
Oh,
Well, I thought I'd never see them again.
they'll do for dinner. Did you have anything of, shall we say, significant value or interest?
You definitely have the Malcolm Quarry's letters.
Yeah.
However,
Couple of books.
we wouldn't have brought those in our hand luggage. We've kind of studied those extensively.
Gerald, do you want to have a look through, see if there's anything missing?
Yeah, has anything gone?
So, what was in your room that might have been of interest?
Not a great deal, to be honest with you. And the only real books were the British gods, the Vandra Sea, and the King in Yellow.
Is the king in yellow still here?
How about the letters?
Those will have been somewhere knocking around.
In your room? Okay, so the letters are gone, and the Vodka by the Sea is gone.
The vodka by the sea has gone.
The Vodka by the Sea.
Ah,
You know what happens.
hate it when people steal these things.
Any would we have had money? We don't carry all our money
no
on us, like-
no money, no valuables, nothing else.
Yeah, so obviously like pocket watches for formal wear, nothing like that's been taken.
Nope, nothing else has been taken. The rooms are like just turned upside down, but it takes some time to.
Will I have had my special whistle about my person?
Ooh, you can make a look roll.
Oh, not the thistle whistle.
Yes, indeedy. Not that. Luck be a lady tonight.
Probably not.
Oh,
Yes, it
so,
does.
so
teetered on a 90.
suddenly you're like, in a panic, you pat at your chest, but like, so you can feel as you can feel the cold, the coldness of the whistle against your chest.
So we have been we've been documenting our findings.
Have we?
Mm-hmm. That was a whole. We started doing a bit of research and collating information.
Did we?
We did,
Yes, we did,
and
definitely.
we put notes together.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if there was any notes, anything like that, they will have gone as well. So, Alexander Roby's book has definitely gone. Malcolm Quarry's letters are definitely gone, and any sort of research that you might have written research that you might have been carrying with you has also gone. The Malcolm Quarry's book is still there, as is the King in Yellow is still there.
I shut the door to the room.
Should we report this as a?
And I look at the other two, and I said, "Well, Charles, I don't think we should report it.
No.
I don't think reporting it's a good idea, because obviously, whoever had access to our room sort of knew what they were looking for, and they must have had some idea what we've had on us to come in here and sort of specifically take what they've taken. Now, if we report it, do we tip his hand?
Well, it's kind of going to be they know that we know.
Yeah, but
we know that they know.
Everyone's going to play dumb.
Yeah, and if we make it, I agree. If we make a big song and dance of it, and the captain gets involved, it's just going to muddy the waters. Whereas we can, I think playing the whole when we talk to people who act suspiciously, rather than there being a general furor and everybody going, "Oh, what a terrible thing," we can, if we pretend it didn't happen.
Okay.
The perpetrators may tip their hand. I don't see what we gain from.
What do we gain by reporting it? Yeah.
They could search the ship, which is just going to cause ructions and be highly unlikely to find our stuff. Or we can maybe use it to our advantage if, with your deep psychological nous, you might be able to spot the person who's surprised that we aren't more perturbed by goings on.
Makes sense.
You know, so I doubt anybody's going to come up to us and go, "Oh, is everything all right?" But if we just act like nothing's happened.
What's your gentleman's take on our new friend?
He seems genuine enough. He just seems to have simultaneously a lot of information and no information at the same time, which is.
Does it not seem a bit of a coincidence that he also knows Quarry?
Yeah, that bothers me.
Which bothers me that he just so happens to be on the same ship, going to the same place, knowing the same person that we're.
And the only basis of his research is Quarry himself.
Yeah.
When we got down to it.
And they have met.
Yeah. I do wonder if he's maybe on this pilgrimage himself.
That's what I would probably lead towards.
Is there a reason for him to suspect us?
He could be in on it.
Yeah.
There may be more than one party on this ship who knows our intentions.
Mm-hmm.
That accountant is up to no good.
There seems to be too many coincidences on this journey.
Yes, our overly friendly host trying to corral us into the same location on the other side.
Yeah.
Not to mention those strange children that nearly threw me overboard.
But nobody else saw.
No, nobody's disputing it. That's the thing. We've been through enough to you know, and she had this been 6 months ago, it'd been poppycock, you know. But we've seen one or two things since then.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it would pay for us to keep him You know, the
Arm's
whole
length.
keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
I would agree.
I hope they
However,
haven't ruined our evening more.
No, yeah, it's perhaps a little bit creased, but there's plenty of time for it to get it ironed.
it appears to have been ironed.
Yeah.
To
Oh
get
my
it
God,
pressed.
they've unpacked things and put them away.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to get it pressed. If,
Yeah, because I'm just thinking the Casino Royale saying, you know, oh, you've changed your shirt. Oh, that must have been last round devastating for you.
I mean, on the subject of and the door's not been forced, has it? It's just unlocked.
no, it doesn't.
So what I would say is, looking at the door, the fact that it's been unlocked, there's obviously someone on the boat with access, and they clearly want us to know that they've been here by by tossing the room, and B, leaving the door open.
Bit
Yeah.
of an intimidation tactic.
Yeah, I think
it
that's
wasn't open. It was unlocked.
no, that's well, leaving it unlocked.
Yeah, it wasn't jerry-rigged, it wasn't forced. It's
Yeah,
But if they'd
It's
managed to unlock it, they could have locked
they
it.
could have quite
afterwards,
easily
yeah.
locked it, which I think leaving it unlocked says as much as
it's
Yeah.
we can get you at any time.
And
yeah.
quite happily leaving the room like this rather than tidy.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I don't.
I go with we pretend it's not happened.
Yeah, we keep quiet and we see who sort of makes herself known to us.
And yeah, we'll keep this archaeologist fella, I think, close to us.
Okay.
I'm suspicious of him. More
Hell yeah.
suspicious of the accountant. He seems to
What about
listen an awful lot.
what about our consulate friend?
I think he's just an upper class twit of the year, but
Yeah,
I think he's woefully out of his depth.
I would
and,
I would suspect he's trying to do a little bit of willy waving and inflate his stat position and stature
I don't
above
know
what
if-
it is.
You've noticed that all of a sudden he's not quite so sure if he can get the
Yeah.
access that he claimed that he could get the other night when he was in his cups.
Nah, it strikes me more of as a con man than as a consulate employee.
Yeah, definitely out of his depth, I think.
Yeah.
Mrs. Tullis, I don't know if she is as irritating as she appears or just playing a very long game.
Yeah,
It seems rather cliche, don't you think?
Yeah. It
We
would be
could
a
always-
terrible thing if she fell overboard.
Maybe you should spend more
could-
time with her to ascertain
Oh,
what her
well,
intentions are.
well
We could-
volunteered, Doctor.
we could bring her into the room and interrogate her with extreme prejudice and the knuckle dusters.
Well, actually, our good friend could use more subtle methods.
I mean, he's probably going to need a little bit more pep than what he's going to get at Christmas dinner for that. I don't
Right.
want to have to do any pushing.
Or singing.
Come on, Gerald.
You push, I'll sing.
Come on, Gerald. Don't let that heart fail you now. Quickly now, my arms are tiring.
So, are you
Anyway.
getting
Anyway, I
changing-
think we should dress for dinner.
Yes. Okay, so you change to your formal time. Maybe you call for it to be one of the crew to come have it dressed for you. Yeah. So you change dress and leave the room. And as you're leaving the room, you can each make a spot healing roll. Just the Gerald, Charles, and George.
Dum ba dum bum. Hoo!
Point.
Hoo!
Oh, I see.
Charles is observant as ever. Okay, so Gerald.
Charles, I've told you, stop looking at the ceiling. Everything is generally below eye level.
If it's on the ceiling, we're all in trouble.
Do you know, see when it comes to the time, there's that creature, like, spread eagled, waiting to drop on us, I'll have it. And I'll
Yeah, but
save all your lives.
you'll be the one that goes, oh, it's going to eat us, so it'll be even worse for you, because we'll be sort of unaware. You'll get seconds of sheer terror.
So, Gerald, something catches your eye. You stoop down to pick it to see what it is. Pick up the like the torn lapel badge. It's kind of part of the lapel and one of the epaulets of one of the that's clearly from one of the Lascars uniforms. Lascars being the Indian crew. And it's like one of the lapels. It's clearly been torn off.
By what? Is there anything in the area where it is that it could have conceivably caught on?
No, not really. No.
Ah, that's such a massive false flag. It's like,
That to me has been planted.
yeah. It's not so much a false flag as a whole fucking, the UN building with just
Yeah.
like a riot
Flags.
of every single
It's a flag
flag
parade.
of the world. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
With those glasses with them throwy sticks
Because what's
marching in front of them and the massed band of the Royal
and the
Dragoon
brass
Guards.
band? Yeah.
Look this way.
And what's the chances of us finding one of the Lascars with a torn lapel?
Probably
the-
slim.
It's like the 1 hour man in The Fugitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It'll take us about 7 series.
I would suspect that we're going to find a Lascar with a torn lapel.
I
and
don't.
he-
I believe.
No, I do. And even if we do find one, I believe that he's going to have no idea how it's been torn.
I think one of the Lascars will have lost his uniform,
Well, all that.
or will find it mysteriously in somebody's possession.
Mm.
You mean one of the guests will be secretly dressing up as a member of the crew?
Or it'll be like stashed in their bag or something. Yeah. Massively, yeah. I can't see how somebody would break into our room and accidentally tear their lapel and epaulet off
No.
of their uniform
They're not exactly sharp.
to leave behind. All of these sharp edges that, ships,
Yeah.
sailing ships are well known for having lots of sharp edges to fall against,
especially in
rough
rough
seas.
seas.
Yeah.
So after you've done your formals anyway, and make your way
I will.
to the
I will.
dining room.
I'll
Where?
pocket the epaulette and lapel
Okay.
just in case there's a chance to compare it to anybody's mysteriously torn lapel and epaulette. But
Okay. So you make your way up to the dining room and join your dining companions at table number 8. Julian arrives maybe about half an hour later. So you all sit down, exchanging small talk, wishing
Yeah.
everybody the best for the season. And Mrs. Tullis has gifts for everyone.
does she? Is she going to charge us for those as well?
So she hands out a little package to each one. Each one's slightly different. And upon unwrapping it, it's a small token gift that appears to have been bought from one of the shops on board the ship. Just a token of my appreciation of your company.
And when you say token, what sort of thing are we looking at? Like a postcard?
No, but like a letter opening or things like that.
Wow.
Would be very useful for all these letters that I received during the voyage.
A letter
Yeah.
opener, a bookmark, a hip flask, or things like that.
I can't move for the amount of useful things I'll need all this for. Wow, thank you so much.
Your generosity knows almost no beginning.
Okay,
Time bastard.
So at the height of the meal, the gifts, staff members dressed in Christmas attire, like dressed as elves, or one dressed as Father Christmas, comes round and hands out the gifts to each of the passengers. Again, it's something. It's a token gift, something from obviously from the ship's shop. Perhaps less generous than Mrs. Tullis was, but you can all make a listen roll.
Okay.
Is it in fact the mass band of the Royal Dragoon Guards?
It is indeed, yes. They're here to save the day.
Are we hearing the twirling of batons?
I'm slightly deaf.
Okay, so Gerald is the
Yeah.
one. So you, while the crew
Aren't you
not-
overwhelmed by?
It's not some child singing again, is it?
it is not no.
Thank
You
God for that.
They're more like
overhear-
teenagers.
You overhear two of the crew speaking. Apparently, one of the staff members, one of the last guys, is not reported to duty, and he's not in his quarters, and nobody knows where he is.
I suspect he's gone for a swim.
After ripping one of his lapels.
Yeah.
I was thinking after having one of his repels ripped.
That was the only thing holding him onto the edge of the ship.
Yeah, that's how he fell off. Yeah.
I suspect somebody has nicked his uniform.
Yeah.
Where was he last seen? I wonder.
Yeah.
Smoking on deck.
I'm just wondering how we find that out without.
I don't think we do, because I think we already suspect it anyway.
Yeah. Well, having said that, knowing I don't think somebody's necessarily going to disguise themselves as him. It's chuck him overboard, plant the evidence. So, the only person it probably wasn't per se is our friendly archaeologist. Although that's not to say that he wasn't distracting us while a compatriot did the deed.
Do you think? Well, I mean, he could have been, because I guess he was talking to us about something we have in common to keep us entertained long enough that somebody
distracted and an accomplice.
I mean, when he went to get his notebook, he could
Actually, that is true. How long?
It was 15 minutes. I mean, it's long enough to ransack a.
Yeah.
You know, it were about 15 minutes. He said so. That's plenty of time to ransack.
Especially if you have a key.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a key or an accomplice.
Or just a degree of skill in lockpicking.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see your character sheet.
What's your lockpicking skill?
Yeah. That's it.
Does it say evil villain?
That's his secret.
So
secret
Charles, you can make a psychology roll as well during dinner.
But what I can say is that, another fun fact is that many of our Christmas traditions can be traced back to the festival of Saturnalia, like wreaths.
You are obsessed with Saturnalia, man.
Because it's all part of it, isn't it? This is exactly what I was saying earlier. The Christmas wreaths, the traditional wreaths that we,
Do you not think
have on our
that Christmas and Krishna are, etymologically linked?
Potentially.
Do you know as well that people that mix up entomology and etymology bugger me in ways I can't even begin to put into words?
Wah, wah, wah.
Well,
I've told you a million times not to exaggerate.
So Charles,
Trisha
is You notice Patricia's mood is seems to have got worse, degraded.
Probably because she's having to put up with Mrs. Tullis so much.
She's
Can we also?
my dear?
She's really quiet. She barely interacts, barely touches the food.
Can we also pay attention to anybody paying attention to us?
Yeah.
Particularly to see if anybody's nebbing on a whole. I wonder if they've noticed that I've just ransacked their room, kind of. Like.
2 seconds.
Would that be the entirety of the staff, crew, and other passengers? Or
Oh, everybody on the ship. Yes.
everybody. Just
Everybody.
Just
Absolutely
scan.
everybody.
We're just scanning.
Paranoia.
All right.
Absolute paranoia. Yeah.
Oh, that would definitely be if you try and check out everybody. That would definitely be at least a hard success on the psychology roll.
Yeah.
Let me show you how it's done, Doctor.
As a quick glance, just
And
As you're doing that, I'll ask the young lady if she's all right.
the temptation to spend 11 points of luck just to annoy Dr. Highsmith.
Did you not pick up on that, good sir? You see, when you've had a few years training, as I have, you'll notice these sort of things.
Really?
Patricia, darling, how are you this evening? You seem rather quiet.
So she looks over at Mr. Marcus and then she says, "I'm fine. I think thank you for your inquiry. I think I'll just go and take some air." And Julian starts to get up. Says, Patricia, I'll escort you, of course. Mrs. Tully suddenly grabs his arm and pulls him almost forcibly pulls him back down to his chair. He says, yeah, actually, Mr. Knight, I wanted to ask you about your father. And by the, he reluctantly...
I will take this opportunity to excuse myself and go see what the young lady's up to.
Okay, so if you recall, Francesca had said that she was becoming concerned about Patricia because she hadn't slept. She wasn't sleeping very well, and her mood since she was hoping that bringing her on this trip would improve the mood after she had a messy breakup of her engagement. Yeah.
That's correct. However, Patricia hasn't told me this.
No.
So I will obviously exercise a better restraint.
Okay.
Not.
What's somebody else doing? What's Marcus? Is Marcus up to anything? Or?
His old tricks.
No. I'm making small talk. I'll kind of like look where Patricia went. I'll look kind of where she went. I'm not going to get up, but obviously kind of like looking concerned, like that's a bit weird. But I will not particularly get up just yet. Yeah. No, nothing in particular. Just small talk and passing the time. Now.
Oh, better check. Is this an appropriate time? Because obviously we're in a formal meal.
So it's probably towards the end of the meal, like when people just start like people just sat around maybe
yeah, because I don't want to make a big scene of it.
Brandy, taking a bit after dinner chit chat.
Oh yeah, okay. So there's allowance for comfort breaks because obviously during formal meals, just to get up in the middle of dinner and chase after someone would be a bit crass.
Does anyone mind if I smoke?
No, be my guest.
I think 1920s would probably mind if you didn't, old man.
Yes. I always find, it's a nice cigarette after a meal. It lets it go down a lot better.
I'll light up one of my. Do you want a cigar?
A cigar. Oh, wow. Yes, of course, if you're offering.
Okay, so Charles, you a short, a short way behind, but you get up and follow Patricia out. Are you like, so you can see her walking down the deck, and she heads to one of the stairs that lead up to the one that put the promenade decks.
Okay, I'll just I'll not shout out. I'll just I'll come go with her and then don't want to startle her.
Okay. So you follow her up the stairs and catch sight of her as she's heading down towards towards the front of the ship. It's quite. There's a little bit of a breeze picked up outside. The temperatures after the hot sort of temperatures during the day, the temperature, like with the sun down, the temperatures start to drop quite a bit by now. And as Patricia sort of goes around the corner, goes outside around the corner, you see a figure stood to one side, almost obscured by all the bunting that's fluttering in the wind, like long, it flutters and like long tatters of cloth, and the bunting, it all, unlike the rest of the bunting on the ship, it's like all sort of glittery and multicolored. This looks like white and pale, like various shades of pale yellows.
Very odd.
And this figure turns, and you see they're wearing a hood that's pulled down across, obscuring most of the face. And as the wind blows some of the lanterns out on the deck, it illuminates the face, and you can just all you can see is this pale, like waxen mask obscuring the face. And you can make a sanity roll.
Lol.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay, right. Despite yourself,
Well,
you let out, you like stifle a scream and stagger back, almost and trip. As you stagger back, you trip and fall over like one of the balustrades.
So we were going to say a body with somebody with a ripped epaulette.
And as you your heart's like pounding in your chest, you look up and it's just bunting. There's nothing there.
Oh, my goodness.
You lose a point of sanity.
For bunting.
What a way to go, eh?
Terrified of bunting.
They're scarier, you know what I mean? That stuff can
It's
be
terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Terrifying stuff.
Yeah.
Get everywhere. Can tie you up and all sorts.
If you get it in your eye, I mean,
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh, bunting in the eye is a serious problem, especially
Yeah.
in 20s.
Those sharp triangular edges, you know.
That's it, yeah. There were many a hospital visit through bunting to the eye, especially around the festive period.
Did you know in Saturnalia there was an inordinate amount of bunting-related death?
Fucking hell, someone shut him up about Saturnalia.
It was quite a problem. They got really attached to bunting.
I don't know about the missing Lascar. I'm going to throw myself over each side of both if it keeps up that way. Jesus Christ, I'll write my own book. We invited him along. I rescind my offer.
Is Marcus remaining inside then to regaling people with his?
No. He's remaining inside. I'll take a draw and me cigarettes. I say, everybody, do you realise that it's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day night? Do you know another tradition, but it's Western, that's typical of this? And I'll kind of lean in. I'll say, it's tradition to tell ghost stories. Who here has got a good ghost story?
Don't
Now
tell
look
me
around
you've
the
got a
table.
cracking ghost story.
Well,
The
I
night before
know a
Saturnalia.
couple, but I was hoping that you.
There's a night before Saturnalia and all through the house.
Many a Saturnalia was stirring. It was quiet as a mouse.
Well, yes, I did actually encounter something in I heard a tale of someone, a local fishmonger actually back in England, and he once inherited a cursed box. Would
A
you
cursed
believe?
cod.
Yeah, not a cursed cod. No, that would be ridiculous. This was a cursed box,
Oh.
and every person that opened it found that they had precisely 75 days to live. Very strange.
Such a shame my characters missed all this.
Lucky.
It was quite disconcerting when I heard it. Very spooky. I heard it, funnily enough, on a Christmas, just like this. But what I'm more interested in you. What ghost stories have you got to share?
I mean, none really.
So there's just the three of you left at the table now. Mrs. Tullis has excused herself and retired for the evening. Julian is barely propping himself up at the bar, while the Reverend stands at his shoulder berating for his debauchery, and
That would make you drink more.
and reciting verse and chapter to him. Mr. Thomas has also disappeared. You didn't even notice. Again, he just kind of just noticed he's not there.
How
anyway,
does
yeah.
he do that?
He's
So, yeah.
Batman.
Meanwhile, the ghost stories.
Surely you must have one.
I mean, I've seen some horrors during my time on the Met, but as for ghost stories, no. I'm fresh out of those.
There was the case of the giant rat of Sumatra, of course.
Rat of Sumatra. That sounds fascinating.
Oh no, that was a novel.
Oh.
I mean, once the founder, you should have seen her. She was a rat.
Very well. If you choose not to engage in the delights of a ghost story at Christmas, I will then take one more turn around the deck and turn in. I'll stub out my cig.
Okay.
You got well.
Good evening, and I will see you
Is that
tomorrow.
more of a
night.
good evening? Evening.
Okay, so Marcus, you avail yourself of some fresh air and
Yeah.
take the last of your, enjoy the last
Yeah.
of your cigarette and walk along the deck.
I'm kind of looking out for Patricia. See if I can see her anywhere.
So you walk around and come across. You just happen to come across as you're standing to the upper deck. You come across Dr. Highsmith, who's kind of looking a little bit shaken as he's picking himself up off the floor, and at the same time you hear a scream, a woman's high-pitched scream. So it's suddenly suddenly cut off.
Wow. Do I know kind of the direction of that?
Towards the front of the ship.
Further
I
right.
compose myself
Kinda
enough to.
Hey,
Yeah, look to the doctor, see if he heard that as well.
yes,
Is that
go
from
further.
where I was? Okay, so is that the direction I was following Patricia?
Yes.
I think be Patricia. And then start heading that direction.
Yeah, I'll run after you. Wait for me!
Okay, so you quickly make your way down the deck, and as you come round to the front of the deck, you see Patricia has sprawled out on the deck, apparently unconscious.
Right. I'll look at you and say, "You're the doctor. What do we do?"
Suppose I'll do a quick first aid roll. See if. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
So she's
Arise!
good shot. Slap will do the trick. Yeah.
oh bloody hell! I'm there. I've just been.
It's obviously not important to the game. That's what I'm rolling well.
I've been just the stream has just been filled with a pink screen of me. You must log in. I've got books again.
All right. Wow.
It's the power of my dice roll.
1 second. Sorry about this, everybody. Cover that one.
So obviously I'll.
Can't see it. Still log in.
Is your password Phil?
It is. Damn it.
Phil 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's them IT skills of yours coming into play there, Dave.
I'm on the ball, you see.
So well, we continue
So does Patricia arise and tells the whole plot?
Does a spirit rise? It's not funny
so
we're talking about ghost stories.
she's clearly just passed out.
Not popped around the head or anything?
No, she's just clearly just fainted for some reason.
No. Too much vino de campo.
Yeah. I'll take off my jacket and put it under her head. Regular head. Say, what's happened? I'll look around as I say that. Is there anything where she might have tripped and fell?
No, there's no obvious nothing obvious nearby that would have caused her to.
Any bunting close by?
Yeah, there's
There's a
bunting.
There's a piece of bunting and her eye looks a bit of a mess.
There's a bit like looks as if it would have been a little pale at one point. Just
Yeah.
hung there.
It's all falling.
Shit, I
into place.
fisted the bunting. Ugh, curse. I will get my revenge.
In this life. Oh, the next. God damn you, bunting.
Now we have identified my nemesis.
So as you tend to her, she slowly comes round and she seems a little bit confused. Doesn't seem to know where she is at first, and she's suddenly very very pale, sickly looking.
I think we need to get you in the doors, mate, dear.
Hi, Bishop. I think I had a turn.
Sudden turn. This has been going on for a day or two at least, my dear. Don't think I haven't noticed. You're not eating. You're barely speaking. And now this. So what's troubling you?
You can make you can make a charm, a social roll, charm, persuade.
I'm not trying to get in their knickers. I'm just trying to establish what. Calm yourself down, big lad. It's a mere child.
Or even a psychology roll would do, to be honest.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
I have several times.
Oh, nice.
That is strange.
Dear God, what the hell was that?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Nice.
Fucking tell me! What the hell's the matter with
It's
you,
airplane,
woman?
innit? all rested practices.
She kind of scowled. Managed to like work it on with a scowl. Doctor, I'm not one of your patients. Could you please escort me to my room?
But I've set this couch aside and everything. Away from the bunting.
Avert your eyes, dear. They're gonna get you.
Of course. I'll take her back to her room, Doctor. Up you come, gently, dear. I'll help her up gently.
Okay, right, she thanks you and takes you, gratefully takes your arm and lets you lead her back to her cabin.
Yeah. Maybe it's something you ate, I'll say.
Sorry?
Maybe it's something you ate.
Perhaps. She pauses at the door to her room as if almost as if she's going to say something more, and then says, "Thank you, Mr. Dyer. Good night."
It's quite all right, dear, but you do understand if there's anything troubling you, you can always talk to me, can't you?
Oh, hello.
You can make a charm or a persuade roll.
Yeah, I'll try persuade. Not at all. However, I might use some luck on this. It's quite a bit of luck.
You can push it if you wish, but if you fail, then it will be as if you had fumbled.
I don't want to push it. I want to use my luck.
Okay.
That's a lot of luck.
It is.
Chunk of luck.
Yeah, probably better pushing it, I'd have thought.
I would have thought so.
It's entitled to. So you whatever you decide to do, if you click on the red spidery thing, it'll expand it and it'll give you options.
Okay. No, I am gonna spend the luck.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend 26 luck to pass.
Keep of you.
This might be an important thing. This. My skill's just not good enough to risk it.
62 luck. Bloody hell.
It means further down the line I'm gonna get garroted by Bunting.
Yeah.
That's actually our final end of level boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be manga style.
It is.
Bit of lens flare.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to. I expect something's gone strangely wrong there. I don't know what's happened there. Oh dear. Well, yeah, I'll just have to leave it like that for a minute. Oh, something's gone wrong with the visuals on. I can't log into my dummy account. But anyway, right, where were we? So you spent the luck. Okay.
Yes.
And that
Well,
was
you can tell me about anything. You know that. If anything's troubling you.
She kind of looks at you, and she says, "You wouldn't believe me, Mr. Dyer."
Is someone threatening you?
There is a threatening presence.
Well, I'll kind of like brush it off and say, well, you know, we were talking about ghost stories earlier on tonight. You know, things play on your mind and things like that.
Yes, that must be what it is. That's it exactly.
Maybe after a good night's sleep, you'll feel a lot better.
I'm sure you're right, Mr. Dyer. Thank you again. Thank you.
Would you like me to get you a sleeping pill? Something to help?
I have.
I can ask the
I have a
doctor.
draft. I have a draft the doctor prescribed me in my room.
Ah, right. Okay. Well, you get a good night's sleep, and I'll see you in the morning. But still, just try not to worry. This is a cruise after all. You're meant to enjoy cruises, as long as you don't fall in the water.
Kind of looks up at you.
What a strange comment to make.
She looks at you and kind of strange look on her face. She can't quite think what the, that what, that look, what it is about the look on her face. And she good night, then, doctor. Good night. She pulls the just moves into the room and closes the door.
Okay. I'll go back to see the doctor.
As I formulate my analysis,
Okay.
expertly done.
I assume Dr. Highsmith is probably not far away.
Yeah.
I thought it prudent to step back. I think the bunting was interfering with my abilities.
I'll take you to one side, Doctor, with a gentle arm on your arm, and I'll say, "Has Patricia spoken to you about anything? You seem to have, like you said, noticed things wrong with her. She seems a bit unwell."
She's had a shift in mood over the last day and a half. She's not exactly the most outspoken girl, but
No.
it's quite alarming. Shift in personality. Definitely something's worrying on her mind.
Yeah, she said that you gave her a sleeping aid. She was, yes, a bit frightened, I would say, a bit afraid, but
No, not from me.
oh,
Oh, must have been her doctor.
it
Because obviously I wouldn't prescribe unless she was actually registered one of my patients. That wouldn't be ethical.
I see, I see. Oh, well, it's probably nothing then. She said she was mentioning some kind of. She didn't outrightly say she was being threatened, but that's what she was implying.
What did she say precisely?
She said that I asked her if anything was the matter, and she said I wouldn't believe her if she told me. And I said I pressed her for it, and she said there was some kind of threatening presence. I mean, I took it down to tiredness and paranoia. The sea can play devilish tricks on a person,
It's the feeling of isolation, and almost nothingness. It does happen.
Indeed, indeed. It's
Still a shame. Such a young lady. Whole life ahead of her. It's wouldn't like to see her burdened down with such matters.
That's it. I'm sure she'll be fine after a night's sleep, which I advised her to take. And that's when I said, can I get her a sleeping aid? And she told me that she had some. So,
Maybe we'll speak with her ward. So,
yes, it's certainly concerning. She may need medical attention, as you said, and we may need to sort something out for her.
well, we've 5 days, so we'll just do what we can. Obviously, this isn't the place or has the facilities.
Of course, of course. Well, I shall turn in as well. I spoke to your friends and said good night, so I'll do the same to you.
Good night, Peter, and I'm sure we'll see each other in the morning again.
Absolutely.
And thanks for confiding in me and giving me that piece of information. It's like I said, I did notice, and once a professional, always a professional. You can't switch off.
I totally understand. Well, we'll see what tomorrow brings. But yes, it's worth keeping an eye on her, considering the fact that she has fainted. We don't want her doing that near the railings. That could be awful.
Well, good night to you, good sir.
Good night.
Now she'll retire to the cabin.
Yeah. and I'll go back to mine.
Have my compatriots returned?
Have you returned?
Or you giving it? Somebody's writing at the gramophone.
Yeah.
So yeah, what is Gerald and?
I've just been sat in the lounge with a snifter of
Yeah, we haven't gone anywhere. We've
Nope.
just
Brandy.
been minding our own business,
perusing the crowd.
keeping an eye out for anybody taking an interest in us.
Yeah.
Okay, so as the evening drags on, the crowd slowly thin out. Reverend Gore comes over and wishes you a Merry Christmas and retires. Says that he's retiring. James, what's his first name? Mr. Knight. Julian. James. So Julian has to be escorted back to his cabin by some of the crew. Yeah, so it's getting late, probably about 12, 11 o'clock. There's only a few people still on the dance floor. They're just doing a few couples doing slow dance to the last song as the band wraps up its set.
Yes.
What, you doing it in trolley then? Just
I would never get trolleyed.
How uncouth.
just investigating, you know.
Yeah. So. Yeah, nobody taking notice of us
No,
particularly, I'm
no,
assuming.
Quite the opposite.
Little tinkers. Okay. I was kind of hoping that somebody would show their hand.
What are we home for? A cape and a twirling mustache?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that'd help.
And when they walk into the room, sinister music plays.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What we could do is, if maybe Dr. Highsmith distracts everybody, maybe by putting on some sort of rudimentary show, possibly Gilbert and Sullivan, while me and George go and break into every cabin on the ship. See what we can find.
Yeah. Or just heavily interrogate everybody.
So what's Gerald and George doing then?
George is going to retire to his cabin.
Yeah.
Okay. Very well.
And yeah, just retire to the cabin. Yeah.
So he's going into the shared part. I'll be like, gentlemen.
What do we know?
Hmm?
What do we know?
I recount my experiences, obviously, with young Patricia and the aberration that I encountered.
There's rum business afoot.
Is it possible something has followed us here? Or we have timed our travels at the same time as it?
Well, it's certainly possible someone has followed us here. I'm fairly sure after that business in Italy.
I might be
car
putting
may have been marked.
Yep, I might be putting maybe about a 4-1 here. It could be paranoia talking, particularly after tonight. But these rituals we know of, do they all have to be land-based?
Good question.
I
Don't know.
I don't see why they would have to be.
No.
Like I said, it could be just a really, really long reach, but we've had somebody go missing where maybe that overly loud conversation we've had attracted, just it could be coincidence that our arrival might just be at the same time as some of these cultist types, and if they're taking these notes to maybe try and raise something on the ship.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing this manifestation of power, which on our occasions before have been during a ritual, and usually quite a nefarious one. What we have here is a body of human souls in a contained space and no way of getting help. And if that is the case, gentlemen, how do we find out, first of all, and how do we thwart it?
Good question.
Although previously, I think this kind of thing seems to have been centered around places of power, which you would have thought would be difficult to find on board a ship.
What about where we're traveling? You know what I mean? Do these places of power necessarily have to be on land?
Maybe not. There could be points at sea. Who knows?
And considering the vastness of the ocean and our speed of travel, we could be within a point of power for quite a significant period. I don't think gentlemen with the type for hysteria. We are quite seasoned now in these endeavours.
Yeah.
Some of us longer than others. And it's important to recognise patterns as we've been trying to collate as our previous discussion. It just seems quite suspicious that we might have happened to have arrived providing materials for someone that may have already started something.
I feel that what do they get? I don't think it'd happen at sea. I just think it's a bit too difficult for anything to occur. And are we? Is someone following us, or do we just happen to be on the same ship as other people on a pilgrimage?
Yeah.
But what about these manifestations? That's two now, and both of us have been affected.
But
Coincidence?
Not in this case, not considering the realms in which we.
Or just the fact that we're mentally attuned to such things.
Maybe so. I mean,
So
we do have,
these people, do they manifest? You know, we've travelled before, and it's only when we're directly involved with these going ons have we seen any manifestations, or something's directly coming for us. I don't think we have given away that much of a trail.
That's a push. I think it would have been relatively straightforward for somebody to have followed us, certainly from Italy.
Yeah. Interesting.
So the question of the matter is, this power, is it manifesting from an artifact or a person? If we're not traveling on a ley line of sorts.
Are
there any bathtubs in this ship?
Sorry?
Are there any bathtubs in this ship?
Yeah, you got ensuite in your rooms. There's
Plug in.
yeah, there's the indoor swimming pool as well on one of the lower decks.
Try.
I wonder if it's
But
possible.
our friend likes bathtubs though.
Oh, I don't think that particular fella is going to be involved directly.
No.
I wonder if it's possible for us to lay some sort of a little trap for whoever it is that's
It seems to be focused on this young lady, Patricia.
Yeah. What is the deal with her anyway?
Relay the story that Francesca told me. However, I also reiterate that there is a almost sibling rivalry between the two. So some of it might need to be taken with a pinch of salt. However, considering recent events and the fact that we have witnessed operations, I wonder what their connect. Would they have a connection? It doesn't affect. I mean, what we've encountered so far is not random. People have either been purposely drawn in or have a connection to these cults.
Yeah. It does worry me slightly that the only book that was taken was Alex's.
Yeah.
Does all seem to go back to that damn play.
Yeah. Yeah, that does seem to be the point. I think we should probe Patricia a little more tomorrow. Mentally, Gerald, mentally.
I'm just wondering.
Our new companion seems to have quite an interest in her. I don't know if it's I don't know, entirely platonic.
Is it worth just dropping, seeing as that does seem to be the general thrust of it, whether we should drop some hints into conversation of
could do.
Or should we just go full James Bond and like go, yes, I am a spy, yes, we are, or just bring it on?
But
when did Ian Fleming write those books?
Where are we? I'm just wondering if we should drop. Where is it?
Oh, not for a while.
Drop some maybe some poetic references to Carcosa, and just see.
Wait a second, we have a recital.
We do. Oh, that would be a terrible idea. No, do not even begin to think that as an idea. You absolute clown shoe. No.
Not in its entirety, but
No. No. And hang on. Let me just check my pockets for no. However, just one or two references dropped into conversation to what was Dim Carcosa or some such, and just with your staggering insight into the philosophy and psychology of mankind, just be aware of people's reactions. Is a possibility. Try and get people, maybe a couple of us, corner everybody sort of in turn, and just a passing reference.
The pigeon flies at midnight when the sparrow sings.
Indeed. And what was that other thing people kept talking about last year? Kaiwan.
Kaiwan.
Kaiwan, that's the fella. Kaiwan, just drop it into casually, dropped into conversation, and see what reaction, if any, we get.
Okay, sounds like a plan. We'll try
Interesting.
that.
And and one other thing, by the way, no.
A big fat
But
As your employer,
no. It's still no.
it's still no. And no dressing up in like bunting.
Okay. So are you doing anything else this evening, or are you retiring for the evening?
No.
So are we going to have dreams?
Yeah, I'll be.
Almost certainly.
Somebody hasn't had a dream yet.
We'll be retiring.
Retire. Okay, so you retire. I think we shall perhaps finish on this little thing. So Gerald, you have been subject to these rather vivid and unpleasant dreams, and recently Charles also has perhaps had a taste of these, but as the ship clears the Suez Canal during the early hours of the morning and enters into the Arabian Sea, you're all blessed with these nightmares, all four of you.
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
All four of us. Okay.
All four of you, and you all receive the same dream, which is so green and black light slants down through the canopy of leaves to the floor. You walk on soft moss that surrounds the trees. Old oaks make a city here, quiet but watchful. Every detail is in place. You imagine who you might meet here in this fairy tale forest. Wild Serenus the hunter, the fairy queen with her donkeys, hobgoblins and sprites, the wolf at the banquet table, all toothed and cunning, and by thinking of them, you bring them closer. Someone falls into step beside you, and it's another you imagine, the rogue, the highwayman. What or will one of those? He strides along, capable and sure, rolling on the balls of his feet with an easy gait, longbow across his back, dirk at his belt. He's grinning. No, he isn't. You can't keep up this conceit. The old forest is gone, as it is, your companion becomes. Who is it now? If you're pilgrim, then faithful, vain confidence, but with this hesitation, you're alone, and the welter of staging is replaced by bare boards, your plot an empty page. Someone else directs your dream, and you can't escape this with the distractions of fairy tales and allegories. You're walking to him. You're crossing featureless, frosty ground. Aldebaran looms ahead. It has slipped so low in the sky that it touches the horizon. One could almost step up to it now. One could step down from it. Thousands of stars show, but no stars that you know. There are others with you, friends, but they're just an escort. For it's only you that matters. No Caesar ever performed an action to match this one. You see a bright, bright light, and then a tall figure. His white and yellow robes move in a wind that you don't feel. His hand reaches out, and awed, you see yourself take it and walk through.